Today is day 10. We are working on holiday gift packaging, and the idea is to upcycle some of those nice little bags that you get with your purchase at a boutique or a little gift store. If you're like me, you have them piling up, so this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. They're nice little bags with the handle. One side has a logo, one side doesn't. These tend to stack up on me. I hate to throw them away. Like, you can use these, right? So that's what we're going to be doing this weekend. And again, this project was inspired by one of my Stamparista team members. So this weekend, I am doing a gift exchange with a new group, and I recall many years ago when I participated in a white elephant gift exchange. Have you ever done a white elephant gift exchange? So sometimes the gifts are not quite what you'd like to get, and the gift packaging is actually the best part of the gift. Well, that's what's going to happen when recipients receive our creations today. So I'll give you a clue. I have no idea whom I'm gifting. I just know I picked up this nice little box of Honolulu cookies, shortbread cookies. They are going to be part of my gift exchange. And since this is a new group, there's going to be about 20, 25 people. I have no idea who's going to get the package, except that we have a common interest, and that would be canines. So, all right, so here's what we're going to need. We're going to start off with the gift bag that was from a nice little boutique. I was shopping. We are going to upcycle this gift bag. So I'm going to start with that. I need that. And I'm going to need some of my basic tools. I'm going to need my paper trimmer. And here is what else I need. I have selected some coordinating papers to use on my gift packaging. And you might recognize these. These are from the Holiday Mini Catalog, and I'm going to say these two papers came from a paper pack. It is called the Celebrate Everything Gift Pack, and I have used so much of this paper because there was so much paper in the pack, and so I'm down to what I might say are my least favorite papers, but I'm going to make use of them today. So that's where these two came from. The third sheet came from the Storybook Gnomes, and it might be my least favorite sheet in the package, but that's okay. I'm going to be using the snowflakes here, all to decorate and upcycle my gift bag. So here's what I'm doing. The first thing I'm going to do is measure my bag. And so I've got my paper trimmer, but I also have my ruler, and I'm just going to go from the top of the bag down to the base, and I see it measures 10 1/4, and then the width is just about 8 inches, so just under 8 inches. So I am going to be covering an area that's 10 1/4 by 8. And because I have a lot of this paper, this is going to be the predominant paper on the bag. I'm going to have just a snip of the snowflakes, so maybe a little bit more than a snip, but I'll show you what I'm doing. So I know all of the widths need to be 8 inches. And I'm going to start with the top. This will be my focal point. It's kind of like a wintry gift, so I'm going to use those snowflakes. You could use any paper that's in your stash. And that's what's the theme of the 12 Days of Christmas. While I'm showing you my favorites, you could use anything that's already in your stash. I know, again, if you're like me, you have lots of paper on your shelf, and you've probably used up the favorites of many of them. So I'm going to start with a width that's about 3 1/2 inches. Maybe I'll do it just 3. So as I said, I'm creating as I go. I haven't pre-done this. So how many of you craft that way? You kind of have an idea, and you're just going to kind of jump in and see where it takes you. So I'm going to go the width of the bag, which is 8. So on this particular one, I just need 8 inches by 3. All right, so that's going to be the top of my bag. And then I'm going to choose that gridded paper, and it's Pacific Point and maybe Pool Party or Balmy Blue. The other side has a nice wood grain, which would be nice for fall projects, but I'm going to use the nice bright color. And I'm going to go, remember my bag was 10 1/4, so if I've got 3 inches, this one's going to be about 7 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim that down. And then I need a width, again, of 8 inches, right? Because we're shooting for the width to always be 8 inches. Just like so. And then these are going to go right onto the bag. So you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. I feel like we're ready to jump in for this part. And as always, I am using my favorite adhesive. I'm going to use my liquid glue, and these are snowflakes, so there's no orientation. All right. So I see, Marcia, you have met Barbara, and Barbara is also in Texas. Yeah. A recent relocator. What would the correct word be? So yeah, I know a lot of friends are moving out of state. Texas is a good place to go, right? Although I heard on the news today, there are actually some areas suffering a tornado, right? So hopefully you two are safe, in safe zones. Now I am going to want this to stick, so I'm going to be pretty generous with the adhesive, but I don't want to go too close to the edges because, again, I don't want to have a sticky mess. I don't want it to be oozing out of the edges. So I'm going to start off by abutting this to the very top of the bag, and I'm on the label side. So this is no longer going to be the garden gallery bag. It's going to be a pretty holiday gift bag, and I'm going to go right up to the top. And I'm going to burnish that down, make sure it's nice and secure. And I'm going to use my bone folder. So Corinne lives in, all right, 61 degrees in Texas where you are, Barb. You probably are very close to our temperature today, but we have nice clear skies today. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, here we go. So my snowflakes. And again, I'm burnishing down. I could even slip the bone folder in on under the layer here because I really want it to be secure. Yes, Barbara, I know you're going to love this idea. It's actually really, it's a great thing to do with all of those bags that we receive. As I said earlier, I hate to toss them, but they tend to stack up. Now what I'm going to do, this bag is actually just a smidge under 8. So you can see I have a little bit of overhang. I'm just going to take my paper snips. And whoa, those are not paper snips. Those are ribbon scissors. I'm going to, hopefully I didn't get too far in there to dull the blades. I'm just going to snip that down. And you could wait until the end to do this. There we go. So next, I'm going to go ahead and add my coordinating paper. So these are from 2 totally different paper packs, but I picked up the colors, that Pacific Point and the Pool Party. And again, I'm going to apply plenty of adhesive to make this stick right up to the end. So this one, and I actually have 2 to do. I'm joining a dog training group this weekend, and the annual holiday party includes a nice gift exchange game. So we'll see who winds up with this gift. And I think that the gift itself, any human would like to have. Or if you can't have the sugar, you can always put it out to share with friends and company, right? All right, so what Barbara says, going to be getting colder soon, predicting a high of 34. Yikes. It is cold, and actually it was 39 degrees this morning when my son left work. So it's getting cold all over, right? It's beginning to look a lot like winter. Hopefully everybody's safe though. no disasters hitting. Now you're going to see I've got a little bit of a gap in there. That's going to be taken care of because I'm going to place a pretty coordinating pattern to cover that seam. I think that's a great idea, Corinne. How far apart are you? So Barb, I know, is in New Brunsfield. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. That would be awesome. It's always most enjoyable to stamp with someone. It's part of the magic of stamping. So first of all, it's, yes, there's a creation, but the magic also comes from the making, the gifting, the receiving. It's all, to me, it's all magical. And as I've been meeting with my friends this holiday season, it's nice to get together in a happy place with someone to stamp. So hopefully you are there. That sounds awesome. See, you never know who you're going to meet online. I love that. And I know Barb is a joy to stamp with. Very creative and always willing to teach and share. All right, so here's what we've got going on so far. Now I'm going to create a contrasting strip to cover that seam. You can see I came up a little bit short, but that's okay. I'm going to bring in this chevron or zigzag pattern, and I'm going to need about an inch, maybe a little bit wider. I'm going to go with 1.25 inches. And I want it to go horizontally, so I'm going to do my cutting this direction first. And I'm going to bring this in, and I can bring it over to this side. There is 1.25 inches available this way. I'm just going to trim that down. There we go. And I am going to trim it down this way again, so 8 inches, just because it makes it a little bit more manageable to have it this way. Oh, Corinne, I need to go back and look for that picture. I know I saw your comment that you had created the Santa's card house as a gingerbread house, and I want to see it. I need to come back and click on that comment post. I'm glad that you gave it a go. That is so cool. So nice to hear. Thank you for sharing that information. And I'm actually going to be creating about 2 more of those houses myself. I mentioned earlier at the beginning that I have 3 events coming up this weekend, and all of them involve meeting up with friends and a little gift exchange or just a gift. And because I'm a crafter and card maker, I like to take along cards that friends can use anytime. Birthday cards are always welcome. Birthdays and thank yous, I think. I'm trying not to touch that because it's going to be a sticky mess. And I'm going to go ahead and place this right in here. And I'm going to kind of see, doesn't really matter, right? And I'm going to you can see I'm placing it to cover that shortage right where the seam would be. All right, so already I'm liking this. What do you think? I like the snowflakes. I like the trendy chevron, and then that grid paper is a nice, easy pattern that will go with anything. And I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to trim off the excess. And then we are going to get to decorating. So that just needed the tiniest bit snipped. All right, and I did mention, right, this is a dog group that I'm going to be meeting up with. So quick guess which which stamp set, which punch I'm going to be using on this project. So I think it's not going to take you too long to guess. I will say I am taking a bit from the Snowman Magic, and I'm actually using the die from the Snowman dies. There is my favorite part of the die set. Yes, I think, let's see, who is that? Margaret is saying she has that pack of paper. We have a lot of sheets of each pattern. So this is a great way to use that paper. My favorite die from the snowman dies is that frame with the snowflakes. And so that's what I'm using. I have pre-die cut one of the frames. I took this is the thick basic white that I already pre-cut because I didn't want you to have to watch me die cutting. And I am going to stamp my greeting right underneath on a balmy blue cardstock piece. So this one measures, I'm looking for my ruler, here we go. So the frame itself measures about 5 1/4 by 4, and the balmy blue is just a smidge under that because we're going to fit it behind. But I'm going to stamp my greeting on here, and I'm taking the greeting from the Snowman Magic. I'm going to take It's the Most Magical Time of the Year, and I am going to stamp and heat emboss it. So I'm using Versamark, and I did pre-mount the stamp. So this is on block D, the most used block in my arsenal. And I'm going to flip that over. I'm going to bring in my piercing mat because it's photopolymer. And I'm going to stamp. I want to position this. And I know that my other element, did you guess what I'm using? My favorite from the mini catalog, the Scotty Punch. And so the Scotty is facing left, so I'm going to have them on this side. I want the message to be here. And so I'm going to use the frame as a guide. This is about where I want my message to be. So I'm going to ink up. And I'm going to leave that frame there because I don't want to cover my message. I'm going to ink up. So I'm actually flipping the stamp over. What I need to do before I actually stamp, I'm going to go ahead and get in my embossing buddy and just rub that balmy blue, make it anti-static so it doesn't hold on to that embossing powder right here. There we go. So the Snowman Magic was one of my favorite ones. I didn't get to do a lot with it. I just made a few cards with it, but I have been using that die cut quite a bit, as well as this particular greeting, because it's just perfect for this time of year. So I'm going to bring it in. Because it's photopolymer, I can see right through. Place that down and press down firmly. And make sure I get a nice impression because I want it to hold that embossing powder. Pull that out of the way. And I'm done with stamping, so I can also move my piercing mat. And I'm going to bring in my white embossing powder. I love the white embossing powder with snowflake themes. And I'm going to bring this in, shake my powder on. Right there. And there we go. So one of the gifts is in the box there. I'll show you another gift I'm going to have to make a bag for, but I'm going to use the same strategy. I'm going to upcycle a bag, use some of my pattern paper, and make my second gift bag. And like I said earlier, especially at White Elephant gift exchanges, sometimes the bag is the best thing about the gifts. All right, I'm just going to heat up this and melt the powder. And I always like to go from underneath so I can see the magic happening. And this is the stamp that says, "It's the most magical time of the year." And you know it's done when you start to see the shiny and the lettering coming through, or the image coming through. Once the gun heats up, it goes very fast. You just want to keep your fingers out of the way. You can use a tool as well to hold on. And that's one of the nice things about the embossing kit, is it does have a tool to hold the cardstock. And so you can see there's my sentiment. It's there. And next I'm going to add my frame to it. So just bringing it in here, and I think I'm actually going to pop that up. So I'm going to use my dimensionals. And I'm going to be generous with these. There. And I feel it's day 10. I have just 2 more days to share projects with you. I feel like I'm getting there. Some of my shopping has been done. I like that my crafting is moving along slowly, and I'm actually enjoying each portion of it as I go through day by day. It seems overwhelming at the start, but again, attacking that list and kind of going through the events by the calendar, it's made it a lot more enjoyable. There we go. So again, a lot of support there. This also is a great set for creating shaker cards. A little sheet of acetate in there and a little bit of the sequins makes it a really fun project. This is going to be a simple gift bag. It'll make the gift just that much more special. So I think there are maybe just a few more patterns of this Celebrate Everything paper that I have left. It has gone far. It's taken me through the fall and the winter projects. All right, I think I have them all off. And let's see if I remember how I did this. Right there. Just being careful that, whoops, it's on evenly, because those dimensionals will stick. There we go. So there is my frame. Now I'm going to bring in, oops, it's a little bit askew. Let's see if I can fix that. Maybe if I had done it from the back. So again, your work, it's kind of tearing. Maybe just leave it alone. I know when I watch other stampers, especially at my club, people want to overcorrect, and sometimes it's better just to leave it. I do see a little bit up there, so I'm going to snip it and fix it this way instead of trying to remove the stickies. And that's one of the things of crafting. Lots of little problems come up, but it's our challenge to find a way to troubleshoot. Much better. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is bring in my favorite punch. And I am going to be using the snowy white paper. This is on the last chance list. It's the snowy white 12 by 12 velvet sheets. You get 2 sheets, I think. And this is the perfect paper. Yes, this is a white Scotty, or as they are known, a Wheaton Scotty. That would be my Finley, who is a white Scotty. There we go. I love the punch. I've actually gotten a second because it's on discount. The Scotty punch is just $13. So look at that. How cool is that? He's in the snow and he is going to be popped up. I'm going to put a dimensional right in on his neck. And then let's see, if I bring him in here, I could put a little bit of flat adhesive at his feet. And this is just for extra security. I don't want him to fall off the frame. And I think I've got a little clog right in here. And also at his tail. There we go. I'm going to add him in the frame. The dimensional goes on the inside and his feet kind of come out. I'm watching my lettering because I don't want to cover up any of my words. It's the most magical time of the year. Now he needs a nice festive bow. And so I'm going to bring back the punch, and I am punching a Poppy Parade bow. It's going to be my pop of color on the project. And this is going to get adhered just with, let's see if I have a mini glue dot handy. Right over here. So it's almost like creating a card front. You just want to design this as your focal point. And it's almost the same dimension that I'm working on. There we go. So there's his nice festive bow. And I'm going to add one of the gems from the Elegant Faceted Gems. I like this nice white one that adds a little bit of sparkle. And it goes right in the middle of his bow. Look at that, looks like snowy fun. Okay, now I'm ready to bring in my gift bag. And I'm gonna put it right like so. I don't know, I think I like it lower. Should I put it higher? Maybe up higher with the ribbon going through. This is gonna get flat adhered. So again, flipping it over with my Tombow liquid glue. And again, you could use your Seal Plus, but you do want a nice aggressive adhesive because you don't want it falling apart. You want it stuck on there for good. And so you can see I've got a lot of glue going on there. Flip that over and position that right in there. What do you think? I'm liking it. It's coming along. I'm going to get in here and burnish down. I love the bone folder for getting in those little spots, and I don't have to use my fingers. So just being careful not to tear any of the flakes. Right in here. Coming along. And again, because this is liquid glue, it's going to take a little bit of time to dry. But we'll be ready with it in just a moment. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is make a nice little bow for it. I'm going to hang off one of the handles. Thank you, Corinne. So next I'm going to bring in one of my favorite ribbons. It is the, I want to use the right word for it, the metallic mesh ribbon. Now you might think like, how, what? I'm going to make a bow out of this, and you're getting a sneak peek of one of the new spring mini items. This is one of the embellishments that I absolutely love. This is called Balmy Blue. It is like a seam binding. Look at that. How beautiful is that? But I'm just going to use a little snippet. It's the Balmy Blue seam binding. It's 1/2 inch wide. It's called variegated ribbon, and I'm only going to use about, I'd say maybe 9 inches of it. I'm not even going to measure. And this is just going to be the twine, so to speak, that attaches the ribbon to the gift bag. So I'm just going to do a little snip there. I love this ribbon. Just beautiful. The color is just a little tiny splash of blue, sort of like that tinge of blue that you get in snow. So pretty nice. Now I'm going to make my bow, and I'm going to make it a double loop bow so it makes it a little bit more substantial. And for that, I'm going to bring in my Bow Easy, and I'm going to use 2 of the loops here. So let's see. Actually, I'm going to flip this over. Maybe you can see better with a little bit of backing. So I'm not even measuring. I don't like to waste by pre-cutting. And I just know I'm going to need about, what is that, like maybe 20 inches. And so with the Bow Easy, I'm actually going to kind of crimp it to make it workable. And I'm going to loop it twice around both of these elements. Ordinarily, if I want to make one small ribbon, I just work with one side. I want to make a bigger looped ribbon, so I'm going to use both of those. And I'm going to wrap twice. And then on the final loop, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to flip it around. But before I actually tie it, so I know that part goes down. Before I actually tie it, I am going to slip in that seam binding. As I said, whoops, wrong piece. That is what's going to hold the bow on the handle. So doing that, now I'm going to bring this up and then I'm going to tie it shut. So just want to make sure that's about halfway in there. There we go. And I'm going to pull that through. You're going to see how pretty it looks. All right, then I'm now ready to cut that mesh right through here. And again, this is kind of just like the glistening snow. And I'm ready to pull that off. And before I attach it, now it's kind of like, it is heavier, but I want to make it wider. So I'm going to pull that mesh apart. Remember, I had crimped it and kind of scrunched it up as I passed it through the Bow Easy. Now I'm kind of being very gentle to spread the ears or the little loops of the bow. Look how pretty that is, just so soft and pretty. And I think that tinge of blue is the perfect accent. This is going to be right up here. So I'm going to slide it through and then I'm going to knot it. And sometimes I loop it. Let's see if I've got enough to loop. It's a little bit short and sometimes trying to be too economical. No, it's going to work. Sometimes it's too short and it's a waste, but no, this was just the right amount. I'm going to have some little loops up here to show off that balmy blue. Oh, I'm loving it. I think it's cute. All right, so let's finishing up. So Corinne asked about that Bow Easy. It is on Amazon. That's where I had quite a stack of those tools. They are ideal for perfect bows every time in different sizes, and they're actually pretty easy to create. I love working with that Bow Easy. All right, so there is my gift bag. Let's put our gift inside. So because this, look at this, it's a little bit bigger, that's okay. I'm going to bring in some pretty tissue paper. So just going to go ahead and wrap up the box so nobody knows what's inside. Folding that over. It's going to hide the gift. It's going to slip right inside. So right through here. And I'm going to, and you can't see this part because I've got the camera too close. Let's see if I can slip in here. Slipping it right through. And I'm going to keep on creating. I'm just going to take a couple extra tissues. And I like to just have a little bit peeking out. Actually helps to stuff the bag a little bit. There we go. And then also down at the other end. All right. And there is my upcycled gift bag. I think it's pretty cute with the little snow theme and the Scotty. Perfect for the dog training event I have this weekend. And of course, you could do this with any nice boutique bag that you get. You just need to check out the measurements. And so fun. I'm going to share with you the one I received this weekend from the Stamparista meeting. This was done by Debbie Jarigi. So cute. And I love, she used the same pack of paper, just different patterns. And she had a beautiful contrasting polished pink. And instead of just doing a straight cut for her to cover her seams, she did a die cut with, I think this is this scallop, contour scallops or scallop contours, whichever one that is. So cute. I think it's just adorable. So as you are gift wrapping and you have those either the awkward size boxes or gifts, go ahead and create your own and have some fun with it. Sometimes the best thing about a gift is the packaging. All right, my friends, we have just 2 more days on the 12 days of Christmas. I hope you will join me for the final 2 episodes. If you need anything, I have a link above for shopping. Do not forget, tomorrow is free shipping with Stampin' Up! It is Stampin' Up's gift to us. We're saving 11%, so it gives us an extra discount. Yes, Barbara, I love Debbie's version as well. So you can add a little bit more decoration to it. Just go crazy and creative. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it.